Hi everyone, welcome to this Mindvalley Academy Masterclass with a teacher that I'm so excited to bring to you. He's actually the guy whom I mentioned in chapter 6 of my book, The Code of the Extraordinary Mind. And for those of you who've read the book or heard me speak online, I often talk about this particular moment in my life where I was running my company, but things were just going really bad. I was losing money on a monthly basis. I was on the verge of having to almost lay off staff. I tell that story in its raw, intimate, brutal details in the book. And I talk about how that put me in a depression. And to escape it, I decided to study and pour myself into personal growth. One of the people I studied was this man, Harv Eker. I ended up attending his seminar with my business partner and my wife. And when we attended the seminar, we were so skeptical. We were like, all right, we ended up getting free tickets. And let me be honest, that's why we were there, because the tickets were free. But I was not expecting the impact this would have in me. What happened was, in a span of 8 months, I was able to take my company through its fastest ever growth spurt. We were on the verge of collapsing from bankruptcy. We were a 5-year-old business. Me and my business partner still had not paid off our student debts. I was earning very little. And in 8 months flat, from May 2008, which is when I attended that seminar, to December 2008, our company expanded 400% in revenue. We were able to build the Mindvalley that exists today, including the beautiful office. We sank a deposit on that January 2009. But none of this would have happened, this 400% growth in 8 months, I believe, if it wasn't for this man, Harv Eker. And so I'm so excited to be bringing you Harv. It took me ages to finally connect with Harv and get him to come on Mindvalley Academy. But now that he's finally here, what we're going to be talking about is an issue that is so deeply relevant to so many of us. It's the idea of how we can discover to be kind, peaceful, balanced, and spiritual while living a life of financial abundance. Now, this topic is incredibly important because of the state of the world we're in right now. Think of abundance as a keystone skill. A lot of people, might say that there are other things in life more important to them, but the fact is, if you have abundance, everything else becomes easy. Health, getting better health, being able to provide for your family, being able to give back to the community. And that's why abundance is such a huge topic. And also, when we surveyed our list of now 1.8 million subscribers, guess what ranked right up the top? It was abundance. And this is why this topic is so relevant to all of us. So a little bit about Harv, and then what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a beautiful exercise I learned from Harv that changed my life. And I'm going to give you a simple series of questions I need you to pull out your workbook and answer. But first, let me first tell you a little bit about Harv and what makes him such an incredible teacher. He is cut to the chase. His speaking style is incredible. His motto is talk is cheap, and it's his unique ability to get people to take action that produces such incredible results. He's the developer of several highly acclaimed courses such as the Millionaire Mind Intensive, Life Directions, Wizard Training, Train the Trainer. I've personally attended 4 different Harv Eker seminars with my wife, with my closest friends, because these seminars changed my life. And these seminars, some of them were almost 4 days long. Thanks to Harv Eker, I ended up changing my eating habits. I ended up changing my attitude towards wealth. I ended up changing my attitude towards fitness. So of any coach, of any teacher in the world, Harv Eker is right now the man I have invested the most of my personal growth training budget with, simply because he's delivered me the results. He is the author of the #1 New York Times bestseller, Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. I've read that book twice. My wife has read it 3 times because of the impact it's had on us. And there are a lot of folks who say that he has touched their lives. In fact, 1.5 million people right now have been touched by Harv's work and credit him with helping them get to whole new levels of income. Now, this is what I want to show you. I'm putting up a picture on the screen right now. And in this picture, you will see me, my wife, and my friend Mike. And that is us in 2009 attending one of Harv's events. This was happening in Singapore. It was a 5,000 person event. And at that event, Harv Eker made us create our first vision board. And I thought, this hokey stuff, fine, I'll do it because I'm here with 5,000 people. But what good could this possibly do in the grand scheme of things? That vision board, you'll see the exact same one, is still with me. This hangs on my office wall. When I look up top of my desk, this is the first thing in front of me. And why I hang it there is because so many things that I put on this vision board ended up coming true. And it's insane how rapidly that worked. And that's why Harv Eker has been one of the greatest teachers in my life. So you will hopefully get some of these insights, some of these results in the course of the next 1 hour with Harv Eker. Now, before we begin, I need you to do this simple exercise with me. You will see this in your workbook. It is crucial that you do this exercise because this exercise will help you identify the gaps that you need to fill in your life when it comes to financial abundance. This is the exercise, very similar to an exercise that I did with Harv back in 2008 when I attended my first ever Harv Eker seminar. So take out your workbook and we're going to go through this really fast because we cannot wait to bring on Harv. And I want you to rate yourself on a scale of 0 to 10 based on these statements. So the first statement is, I am happy with my current financial status. Write down 0 to 10 how you feel about that. Don't think about it too much. Your first answer is normally your right one. Second, I have an effective system for managing my money. Scale of 0 to 10, write it down. Third, I deserve the abundant life I desire. 0 to 10. Fourth, the net worth of the 5 people closest to me match my goals for my financial abundance. What this means is, the 5 people you hang out with, the average of their net worth is where you want to be. Now, if the answer is no, it means that you may have to start getting friends who are higher above who can help pull you up. So rate yourself on that. Next, money worries cause most of my stress. Next, rich people work way too hard. How much do you agree with that? 0 to 10. Next, I have a hard time keeping money after I make it. Rate yourself on a scale of 0 to 10. This was one of my biggest problems. I can make money doing what I love. 0 to 10. I have what it takes to be successful. Money leads to relationship troubles. 0 to 10. How much do you agree with that statement? I can easily imagine myself making $1 million a year. 0 to 10. People cannot be rich and still maintain their ethics and values. 0 to 10. And the final question, I believe I can make a lot of money and still lead a balanced life. Please rate yourself from 0 to 10. And these are many of the most common negative beliefs or blocks that people have about money. Harv will be addressing some of these, but it's important that you see where you are on a scale of 0 to 10. The ones where you're getting a 9 or a 10 for, congratulations, you're doing well. If you're getting 0 to 3 for some of these are areas that could be holding you back. The interesting thing about how money works is that even one of these blocks, a tiny little hole in your mental framework of money, it's like having a bucket and you have one tiny hole in that bucket will never get filled, it will keep leaking. And that's how damaging some of these blocks can be. So we're about a few minutes away from Harv coming on. Before we bring on Harv, I want to read you some incredible case studies of people who have learned from this man through various online courses and have had dramatic impact in their life. I'm going to do this really quickly. And the important reason for this is because the way our minds work, when we see that other people are getting these results, it builds up our belief and we start getting similar results. So this adds more fuel to the impact that you're going to get from this masterclass. First up, from Zach Burks. What he said is Harv's principles altered his mind tremendously. He struggled mightily with money, realized his financial blueprint would never allow him to do any better. With Harv's help, he quit his 9-to-5 job and has now helped 2 of his great friends open their own startup company. So that was really cool. From Lehan Daniels, what she said is, in the last 24 hours, she managed to have her mortgage rate lowered by 0.65%, saving me a few thousand a year, and had a couple of $100 show up in my bank account unexpectedly. Thank you, Harv, from the bottom of my heart. Leanne is one of those people who made a quick turnaround in how she viewed money following this masterclass. And keep in mind, this happens to a lot of people. After I attended my first Harv Eker seminar in May 8, the same story I share in chapter 6 of my book, I'd had a company for 5 years. I'd never seen it grow that fast before, but it grew 400% in 8 months. And it's amazing how your world changes when your money blueprint inside you shifts. From David Jackson, ever since reading your book 6 years ago, I've gone from being worth $0 to having $800,000 in real estate. I am a money magnet. My life is fantastic, and the final pieces to my puzzle are quickly falling into place. Now, you see, I love that quote. I am a money magnet. In 2008, after attending Harv's seminar, we ended up doing an exercise with my team, and we had our team identify all our biggest values that we wanted to have as part of our company. We call it the Code of Awesomeness. It hangs all over the office. And you will notice that one of the items in that code is I am a money magnet. Well, guess where that statement is from? That is one of Harv's most quoted words, and that came directly from Harv Eker's seminar. So not only do I have his vision board hanging in the wall in front of me, but in the code of values for my entire company, we have a Harv Eker quote. I am a money magnet. And as you learn more about Harv, you'll see why this particular model of reality is so important. Diana Young said, I set an intention to become an Amazon best-selling author, and I'm thrilled to share with you that has come true today. Thanks for your amazing programs. They work. She hit #1 in the slot for the Canada and the USA in 2 categories for her book. Eric Toledo said, it was one of the best financial and educational investments of my life. He came back from Iraq. He was suffering from PTSD. It was really tough. Because of the reconditioning that the course gave me, thank you for giving me an outlet for 10 years. David Kipling said, the morning I got tears of happiness when I did the last part of my daily exercise. I'm now making $30,000 in passive income. You learn about that daily exercise. You learn about the program that David Kipling signed up for at the end of the masterclass. Right now, we want to get straight into teaching. This person, Babs Martin, went from 0 to exceeding my savings goal in less than 1 year. Mel Larson, my net worth has doubled. Wow, this stuff really works. And that's just the money side. I'm exercising twice a week too. Love it. And he doubled his net worth in 30 days. Stuart Fleming, you gave me the confidence to succeed. Stuart accomplished many of his goals after attending Harv's seminar. Bernard John McNamara, the course completely changed my life. I'm proud to say I'm now a non-smoker. My confidence level has increased dramatically. Several of my friends attended one of Harv's webinars. It was called Enlightened Warrior Camp. They ended up giving up smoking for good. So a lot of side benefits you will also experience from this training. And now, let's go ahead and bring on the one and only t.harv Eker. Harv, welcome aboard.
Hey, thank you so much, Vishen. It's great to be here with you. And I just want to personally thank everybody who's watching or listening right now. I want to acknowledge you for being willing to be a learner. I can tell you that that was one of the biggest differences for me. I mean, I always wanted to do well. I just wasn't doing very well, as you're going to hear in a moment. But that's what changed it for me. So thank you for being on this program, on this call. And it's my honor. I'll say it again. It's my honor to be able to work with you.
So Harv, before we begin, I really want to ask you a question. You have touched so many lives, 1.5 million people right now. And I've seen you on stage. I've seen you travel all around the world. Why do you do this?
Because I can relate, as you probably well know, I'm very, 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 very financially successful right now. But it certainly wasn't always this way. Everybody, I didn't come from money. My parents came from Europe, literally with nothing. And when I grew up, my parents taught me about money. And what they basically taught me was that money means survival. What's the word? Survival. It's not like it means boats and planes and beautiful dresses and gowns and all the toys. It just means survival. If you have a lot of money, you live. If you don't have a lot of money, you die. It's very, very simple. And so I grew up and all my friends wanted to be astronauts and baseball players and I just wanted to be a millionaire. I didn't even know what it was, but I wanted to be a millionaire. And I even left school after the end of first year of college because it wasn't going fast enough for me. I wasn't a millionaire yet. And so that was good. I left and I thought I was going to get rich right away, but I was quite disappointed. In fact, what happened for me is over the next decade, I went through 10 completely different businesses that I owned and 12 completely different jobs that I basically flunked out of. And I was dead broke. And it was it was very pertinent for me because, you know, it wasn't just that the money, as many of you know, and pretty well all of you know, it was how I felt about myself. It was the embarrassment. It was the frustration. It was the confusion. It was the, you know how at the beginning of every new job or every new business, you're so excited. It's like, oh my God, this is going to be it. I'm going to get rich. I'm going to be successful. Finally. And then a few months later, you're closing down again, or a few months later, you're leaving again, that job or that situation. And then it's just disheartening to pretty well, you know, I remember at that point in time, it was like, do I even want to start and try anything again? And after my 10th business went down the tubes, I said, no. I said, no. I said, I'm done with this. I'm done with chasing money. I'm done with trying to get rich. I'm done with all that. Money is not important. And you know what? I've been studying spirituality actually. And to a point where I was studying Zen quite a bit, and I was working with a Zen monk. And believe it or not, I basically forsake the business and money arena completely because I wasn't happy. And where did I go? Well, you guessed it. I went to the spiritual side completely. And I decided I was working towards becoming a monk. And I was doing that for literally almost 3 years. And it was a beautiful time in my life, except for one thing. I still wasn't happy. I mean, that talk about confusion, talk about frustration, because now I'd gone the money route and I wasn't successful. I definitely wasn't happy. And then I went the spiritual route and I wasn't happy. And I just remember it was like a dagger was in I didn't know where to turn anymore. I mean, I just kind of looked up to the sky. And in my frustration, I remember doing this. It was like clear as yesterday. And I looked up and I said, Spirit, God, universe, whatever is up there. I said, I don't know what to do. I show me a way, lead me, something, guide me. You know, I wasn't a big prayer type of person, but I didn't know where to turn. And I remember tears coming down my eyes. And all of a sudden, I heard this voice. And I was like, no other voice that I ever heard before. It was not like an audio voice. It was like an inner voice. But it was clear. It was speaking in total words that I totally understood. And you know what it said? It said, Harv, go get a Post-it note and a pencil. And I did. And I always use Post-it notes, but this just sounded different. And it said, write this down. And I wrote down what it said. And then I looked at what I had written. And here's what it said. It said, Harv, embrace both sides of yourself. And the word both was capitalized and underlined. And I tell you, my friends, I didn't write that. Now, I don't know how to explain that to you, but if you're somewhat spiritual, you'll understand that it's like an intuitive something takes over and you're not there, at least your logical mind isn't there, your higher self is there. Well, now I understand that. At that point, I didn't understand. I'm just looking at this note going, oh my God, this is the answer. I never, my friends, I never, ever, 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 ever thought that way. I never thought that the idea of being a wealthy person financially and the idea of being a spiritual person would ever go together. I never thought, nobody ever taught me that. I went to all the seminars, read all the books. Nobody was ever talking about that you could actually do that, blend both of those things, spirituality and wealth. No, it was the opposite, wasn't it? Everybody's telling you, money is bad, rich people are bad, you can't be rich and spiritual, all these different, that's what I heard. I don't know about you. And so literally, I heard that for the very first time, and I realized that I could have both because Spirit told me that. The universe told me that. So I believed it. I trusted it. And so I began acting that way. And I'll tell you what, when I got clear about that, when I not just believed it, but I knew it as much as I could know it at that time, I felt it. I started thinking differently. And more importantly, I started acting differently. And the first thing I did was I stopped looking for businesses that could make me a lot of money. Could you believe that? I stopped doing that. And what I did instead is I was a fitness buff. And so I was always working out, running and all that stuff. And I knew quite a bit about fitness. And so I said, I don't care if I make a lot of money. I'm going to let spirit handle that. But I am going to do what I love to do and what I really want to help people with. And that was the spiritual part of me coming out. What could I teach people? What could I help people with? And it was fitness. And so what I did, I borrowed, I remember I had no money. I borrowed $2,000 on my Visa card. And I opened one of the world's first retail fitness store, a store that only sold exercise equipment. And all I can tell you is that using the principles I now teach, I was able to go from literally zero to millionaire in only 2.5 years. And that proved it to me, because not only was I able to do well financially, but I have to say this in all humbleness, so you understand, I felt I did it in the right way. I did it in the spiritual way. I did it in the good way. I did it in the Buddha's way of right livelihood. I did it in a way to truly help people. And the result was money, and more money. Because, and this is important, everybody, because I was able to blend spiritual principles with business and financial principles. And here's the problem. Most people, well, they're going to go one side or the other. They're either the kind of person that very, very spiritual. They understand spirituality. They understand the universe. They understand, they're connected. They meditate. They believe in those type of principles. Or they know about money and business. And they're, kind of gruff and rough and ego-based. And it's a shame that people tend to be one or the other, when what we need in this world are people who understand and are skilled at both sides. I mean, listen, you say, well, hey, okay, money's not all that important, and I don't see why I want to be. Other things in life are important, but I get that. And you know what? Other things in life are important, but as far as I'm concerned, we only live one time. If you can believe it, you can believe in reincarnation, but you're not going to remember the last time. So for all intents and purposes, you're living for right now. And of course you want to be healthy. And of course you want to have a beautiful family life. And of course you want to be a great mom or dad if that's in your cards. And of course you want to be spiritual and be loving and kind. And why not also have the money and wealth that is available to you in order to be able to enhance your life and enhance your family and your friends' lives? Why not? Why shouldn't you be able to live in a beautiful neighborhood, in a beautiful home, drive a nice car and all those things? Why shouldn't you be able to have enough money to be able to do what you want in your life and contribute to other people when they need those funds? Why not? I'm going to say this right now. There's many, many reasons that I believe. I'm a big believer in getting rich, by the way, and being spiritual and putting those two together, if you know what I mean. And the most important thing you can get out of this class today, is what people tell me, is that attitude, that idea, that belief, that solid knowingness. See, but first I believed it, but now I know it. Now I know that you can definitely create wealth. In fact, I'm going to say this right now. This is what people say, Harv, what's your niche? How are you a little bit different than everybody else? And I'll say this. This is my belief, and this is what I want to impart into you. If there's nothing else you get out of this, if you can emblaze this in your mind, in your eyes, in your forehead, and you know this for a fact, I promise you, your life will be different. And here it is, that you can be kind, generous, loving, balanced, and spiritual, and really, 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 really rich. And for me, my friends, and for literally thousands of my students, hundreds of thousands of my students, that is the Holy Grail. being a kind and generous and loving and wonderful person and believing in spirit and using spiritual principles in your life and having money, oh my God. I mean, I don't know how people could ask for, anybody I know doesn't ask for anymore. You want love and you want money. Why not? Why not? And so, people started asking me how I did it. And so that's when I began teaching. And as Vishen might have mentioned, now I have well over 1 million students from 104 different countries all around the world. I have a book called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, and it's in 47 different languages right now. And the interesting thing is that when I go around the world now, and I travel and I speak to literally 5,000-10,000 people at a time. It's very interesting. And I want to make sure that I've got a few notes in front of me here because I want to make sure that I hit on a few key things for you, if that's okay with you. But it's very interesting that 99% of all the students that I see and I meet and I teach and I hear from, they all have the same issue. 99%. What is it? Is that number one, they believe that it's an either or situation. Either that you can be rich or you can be a kind, good-hearted spiritual person. One of the two. But you can't be both. That, my friends, is incorrect. That is an incorrect, old belief that comes from way back, and it's incorrect. It's not true. You have to examine that. It's not true. How do you know it's not true? How do you know you can be kind, loving, generous, spiritual, and really, really rich? Well, if people talk about me, they will talk about me in all of those ways. And literally, I know thousands of my students that are exactly the same way. And you know what? The rich people that I know are beautiful, wonderful people. I don't really know any a-holes. I don't deal with those type of people. I don't want to deal with those people. Do they exist? Probably. I don't deal with them. I don't know them. So, Vishen, did you want to add anything right there? Because I think what your experience is very important as well.
Absolutely, Harv. So what you just said, I almost had trembles when you said that line. You can be kind, generous, giving, spiritual, and really, 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 really wealthy. Why, after I attended Harv Eker's event in May 2008, what caused my business to go from near bankruptcy to growing, and that's why we have Mindvalley today, was this idea. I had so many mental blocks against money. I believed that I had to work really, really, really hard to become successful. So I was working crazy hours, and my son had just been born. My son Hayden was 1 year old, and I couldn't reconcile this. How? Because my belief was hard work equals money. Now, that was one of the beliefs that Harv shattered. The other belief was this whole dichotomy between, I was running a business teaching meditation, and I kept telling myself, no, I shouldn't be getting rich. I realized I had all of these negative ideas about wealth, and I was associating wealth with ideas such as rich people are selfish, rich people dodge taxes, all of these other bullshit ideas, and I didn't see how these ideas were actually holding me back. So what happened was, the first idea that started to shed was the idea that I had to work really, really, really hard. The second idea was that I could be spiritual and be wealthy. But I want to share the result. May 2008, the company was making $250,000 and we were losing $15,000 a month. So we were bleeding money. I had 18 employees. I was on the verge of having to lay people off. We were operating from a residential house, a crammed little house, not enough desks and offices and space for everyone. 8 months later, we had grown the business 400%. We had grown our team to 40 people. We had grown from $250,000 to $1 million in 8 months. 1 year from your seminar, Harv, I remember 1 year from your seminar, I had completely dissolved the idea that hard work is a requirement for success, that hard work is a requirement for money. Think back to that sheet you just filled in, folks, when you had to give yourself a score from 0 to 10 on the hard work rule. Well, here's what happened to me. May 2009, I was only in the office for 6 days. I spent 21 days traveling around the world, 21 days on beaches in Mexico with Tony Robbins in his private estate, with Richard Branson. And interestingly enough, that Richard Branson thing came because at Harv's seminar, I put him on my vision board. You can see him right there. And it was a coincidence how in 1 year we manifested that. I spent 21 days in beaches around the world, 6 days in the office, and in that month half, we had our biggest ever revenue month in history. But here's the crazy thing. It wasn't just me. The very first seminar I attended with you, Harv, I took 11 of my staff and my friends along. 11 of us, right? 10 out of 11, 2 years later, we made a pact to see what would happen. 10 out of 11, 2 years later, had their lives fundamentally changed. Only one, not so much because she was a student, had to complete her degree. But 10 out of 10 who were graduated, who had a career, saw their lives change. One of them, for example, her name was Nika. She was doing customer support at Mindvalley when we took her to your seminar. In 2 years, she started her own yoga practice. Today, she is the #1 yoga instructor in her city. Khalid was a junior programmer on my team. I just had dinner with him yesterday. 2 years after attending your seminar, he got a massive raise, became a senior programmer. 4 years later, he started his own technology company, which is now one of the hottest technology startups in the city. My business partner, Mike, I remember in the middle of the seminar, I turned to him and he was crying. He was bawling his eyes out because he had hit upon that realization that he had so many bullshit rules around money. And this was the reason why 5 years into starting his company, he had not yet been able to pay off his student loan. And when that happened in 1 year, he was able to pay off all his debts, his student loan, his apartment, and create a life of financial abundance in 1 year. 10 out of 10 saw our lives completely shift when these ideas were removed from our head. And that's why this concept is so important. The incredible thing about the world, people, is that your beliefs create the world. And often we don't know how much screwed up beliefs we carry with us. When the realization hits us, when someone like Harv is able to shine a light on these beliefs in your head, and you can go, oh my God, I can't believe I've been carrying this all these years. And you pluck it out, your whole world shifts. And that's what happened to us.
All right. Well, thank you for that. That's wonderful to hear all those stories. And you know, I know that, as I said earlier, I have over 1 million students, and I would say, Vishen, and everybody, that you know, that's my greatest joy. People say, well, why do you do this? And when I go out to teach, being able to see the students, see the people, see what's happened for them, is, you know, the greatest joy that you can possibly get. And you know why? Because it's part of my mission now. So I wanted to talk to you about I want to get as much value as I possibly can and give as much value to the people listening right now. But everybody listening, Vishen mentioned that one of the issues that he had is one of the ones that I think a lot of people have, and that is that most people believe that in some way, shape, or form that rich is bad and rich people are bad. And you know, it may not be a lot, but you know, you can tell, you know, you go to a restaurant, you see a Ferrari and a Lamborghini sitting out there in the front, and you look at them, you go, oh my God, like what jerks have those? You know, it's kind of like this kind of resentment, or you hear people selling their business for $1 billion, and you go, oh my God. Or athletes making $25 million a year, and you go, oh my God. You know, like, it's a bit of resentment and stuff like that. And I want you to understand something. 90% of people have this because we've been taught, conditioned to believe that rich people are bad. They made their money off the sweat off the poor. They take advantage of people. They don't pay their tax. All this stuff. But regardless if it's true or false, by the way, it's false, okay? Let me just do that with you. I'm going to do this with everybody, Vishen, just for a second. I want to do an exercise with them. All right. Listen close, everybody. I want you to raise your hand with me, yes or no, okay? Do you think there are some rich people who are quote unquote bad? They're not nice. They're bad people. Raise your hand if you believe there's some. Okay, I would raise my hand for sure. Most of my students would. All right, let me ask you another question. Do you think there's some middle class people who are kind of quote unquote bad, not so nice? Yeah, you can raise your hand, right? Do you think there's some poor or broke people that are not so nice and, you know, a little bad? Yeah. What does that have to do with money? What does this have to do with money? There's going to be some rich people who are quote unquote bad, middle class people, and poor people. What does that have to do with money? Nothing. Nothing. Don't make up that story. This story was fed to you that rich people are bad so you can feel good about being broke and work for the man or work for whoever you're doing, okay? That's all I'm going to say to that right now. But you have to understand this. The most important part is this. If you believe that rich people are bad in any way, shape, or form, even a tiny bit, then guess what? You can never be rich. You could never be rich. Why? Because how could you be something that you believe is bad? If you're a good person, you would never want to do that, right? So you could never be rich. That right there, it's over. You could never be rich because I have a little bit of resentment towards rich people. I want to give you something here of a huge value that could change your life. Are you ready? It comes from the Huna philosophy, the Hawaiian philosophy. And I learned this and it changed my life. I want to share it with you because I use it every day. Here it is. Write it down, please. Write it down. Bless that which you want. Let me repeat that. Bless that which you want. If you see somebody with a beautiful home, bless that home and bless the person that owns it. Somebody with a beautiful car, bless that car, bless the person that owns it. Somebody with a beautiful family, bless the family, bless everyone in the family. Someone who sells their business for $3 billion, bless that company, bless that person. Why? Listen closely. Because anything that you negate, you can never have. Anything that you negate, you can never have. You negate wealth in any way, shape, or form, you're never going to have it. Okay? So this is what I want to make sure everybody understands. Not only can you be highly successful financially, but I believe, like we all know as spiritual people, that we have a higher self. And that self is tapped into the highest wisdom of the universe, yes or yes. So we know we have massive potential, but why aren't we living it? And you know what I believe is this, is that we're nature. And so we follow nature. And let's say, for example, take the pattern of rain. Let's say snow. And snow comes onto the top of the mountain. It turns in, and then spring comes. What happens? The snow turns into a waterfall. Then the waterfall goes into a bit of a stream, and a little twig falls into that stream. Now, where does that twig end up? Well, if it follows the stream, it usually ends up into a larger stream and some kind of maybe a small river, then a big river. And it probably will, left to everything's own natural devices, that twig could easily and should easily end up in a lake or the ocean. To nature, naturally, it would end up in a lake or an ocean. Naturally. Unless it was stopped by an obstacle, a problem. Other than that, you're going to success. Other than that, you're going to potential. Other than that, you're going to wealth. Did you know when people say, you're born to be rich? I believe that. I know that to be true. And that is until, because you're not just born to be rich. You're born to have full of everything, full love, full health, full everything, until there's an obstacle. So I want to share with you right now, if I may, some of the obstacles that people seem to have. And before I do that, I want to make sure that, Vishen, you're with me on this, right? All right, I want to go with some of these obstacles, and I want to talk to you about, I want to read some of them here. And this is kind of what, you can hear the questions people ask. And I want you to tell me if you have some similar questions or you relate to this. So we have a program called, we have a very, very special program, and it's called the Spiritual Laws of Money. Spiritual Laws of Money. And I wrote this in 8 modules and in a certain way. In other words, the information is delivered in a certain way, which we'll explain in a second here. But I want to give you the 8 modules in the form of how they're supposed to be understood. And that is that these areas are generally obstacles and problems that most people, including most people watching and listening to this right now, have. And these are the only things that are preventing you from reaching your full potential, especially in the arena of money. Let's go with number 1, money and spirituality, just in general. So many people believe that you cannot be a spiritual and a really rich person. Rich people are bad. Rich people can't be spiritual. Money is the root of all evil. Money's the root of all evil? Really? Oh, where did you hear that? Oh, the Bible says. Really? I don't know. Why don't we read that again? Does it say that money is the root of all evil, or does it say that the love of money is the root of all evil? Quite a difference, isn't it? Listen, my friends, if you're a person who loves money and money is everything to you, I think you have a problem. because I don't think money is everything. In fact, money, people either believe, again, the either or life. It's either money's not important or money is everything. Why? It's both. Money is extremely important in the areas in which it serves us, and it is extremely unimportant in areas in which it has no place. I mean, people go, well, what's more important, money or love? Well, but you say money's not as important as love. Okay, I agree. I don't think it's as important as love. But why the comparison? What's more important, your arm or your leg? Well, maybe they're both important in the areas in which they work. Does that make sense at all? What, money or love? Okay, let me ask you this. Can you imagine yourself taking money and doing what you will with it? That's great, okay? But let's say we want to take love. Go down to the bank with your love and try to deposit some love into the bank. You go down to the bank, tell her, hi there, I want to deposit some love. Do you know what you're going to get? Help me, here I am, man. Here's the teller's going to go crazy, right? And the police are going to come in. Everything has its place, okay? In our society, in our culture, money has a place. Money is not bad. I'm going to ingrain that in you, that money is not a bad thing. Money is a very good thing. Why? Because you can not only help your own life, but you can help other people with that life. And you can do things in a much bigger way and serve people in a much bigger way when you have money versus when you are struggling. So money shouldn't rule your life. Would you agree? Right. But it also shouldn't ruin your life because you don't have enough of it. People go, I don't want money to ruin my life. Listen, my friends. But can you come with us? We're going to take we want to take a great vacation. Well, I can't. Why? I don't have enough money. Let's get this great gift for mom for her birthday. I can't do that. Why? I don't have enough money. Let's go to this amazing seminar here, 5-day boot camp. It's fantastic. I'm going to grow an ashram. I can't. Why? I don't have money. Okay. You don't want money to run your life, and what is it doing? It is running your life. If you don't have enough money, what does money do? It not only runs your life, it ruins your life. And again, money isn't the only thing. Money isn't everything, but it does what it does. It's like a hammer. It's a tool. You use it, and again, you go, well, money's bad. And really? Is a hammer bad? Well, a hammer can either build things or it can destroy things. My friends, is it the hammer? Is it the money? Is it the hammer? No, it's the person holding the hammer. And the only thing we have to ask is this. Look in the mirror. Who are you? Are you the kind of person that if you have a lot of money, you will destroy things? You will destroy people? You would not be listening to this. You would not be with Mindvalley if you were that kind of person. Not a chance. I know one thing about you because I know one thing about Vishen and his whole team. I know you are a good person. I know you are a kind-hearted person. I know you are a generous person, a giving person. And I know you want to maintain that. So you're not going to be a kind of person that takes advantage of other people and hurts them with your money. You're going to do the opposite. The dreams that you have and the way you help people, whether it's to create a wellness retreat or a personal development retreat, or to help, like Steve Jobs even, he says, I'm going to put a computer on every desk in the country. Whatever your dream is, if you have the finances to be able to handle that, you can do that. And not only that, but you will be free. And so again, all money is a convenient way of exchanging value. It saves me from dragging around my cows to trade for your eggs, okay? So don't put anything more on it than that. It is a tool, and it is there to help you. Self-worth and deservedness. Question, are you having a hard time charging? Are you having a hard time charging what you're really worth, what your value is really worth? Then that's an obstacle for you. Other people say, well, I don't feel worthy. I don't feel deserving. I was taught that people like us, we don't get rich. We work. That's what we were taught. I want you to understand something. Most people teach you this from a self-esteem standpoint. Listen closely now and see if you can relate. That self-worth equals net worth. Stands to reason, right? You've heard it before. Self-worth, the higher self-esteem, equals net worth. Yes? No. That is not true. How do I know? Because it wasn't true for me. It is not true. Let's prove it. Let's examine everything here. I want to rearrange the way you think right now, okay? Self-worth equals net worth? Really? Have you ever heard of people who have very poor self-esteem who get rich? Duh. If you look at a lot of wealthy people, they have very, very poor self-esteem. In fact, they feel so poorly about themselves that some of them actually have to overpower other people, have to be, jerks to people. That's why, because they have poor self-esteem, right? A lot of people to get rich, you know why they get rich? To prove themselves. To prove themselves. I would say, in my experience, at least half the people who attempt to get rich and actually get rich are there to prove themselves. And you know what? They get rich. Their net worth goes skyrocketing. There's only one little problem. They're not happy. They're not happy. You can't be happy trying to prove yourself all day long. You can get rich, but you can't be happy. And I'm going to say this right now. In this program, the Spiritual Laws of Money, we're going to handle that. And we're going to take care of that for you, because you need to know how. How do you own your self-worth, and how do you create wealth? Both of them. And I'll tell you what, when you can put them both together, your life will change. And I'm going to say this right now, everybody. I want to give you this as much value as I possibly can. The idea that you're unworthy or undeserving of success and high levels of success and wealth, I'm going to say this right now. You just sit with it, okay? That's a made-up story. That's a made-up story. And either you made it up or someone made it up and gave it to you and you bought it and ate the poison. It's a made-up story. It's ridiculous, okay? That's all I'm going to say right now. But in the program, we're going to understand why. And you're going to ingrain that in you, that I am worthy of the highest levels of success because I... And when you hear this, you're going to go, yeah, that's it. Okay, let me get to another one here. Balance and enjoying the journey along the way. Oh my God. I mean, I don't know how many times I get questioned by students when I talk about wealth and success, and they go, yeah, but Harv, I want to have balance in my life. I don't want to enjoy my life. I don't want to just think about money and think about business and think about work, as Vishen was saying. I mean, how do I put that together? How hard do I really have to work? How can I balance my life? How can I enjoy the journey along the way when there's so much stress and struggle supposedly involved? Again, I'm going to answer all of these questions in the program, The Spiritual Laws of Money. However, right now, I want to say this to you so you get something from this. And that is that joy is your true nature. Enjoyment. Enjoy. You are meant to be in joy as your true nature. And absolutely, yes, you can have balance while you are creating wealth. You can enjoy the journey while you're creating wealth. There are specific skills, I will say skills, that you must learn in order to balance your life and yourself properly en route to wealth and success. And we will teach you those. And there are specific ways that you have to understand as to how you set your life up in order to enjoy. And by the way, it's not one or the other. Let's forget about this either or life, okay? No more of that. It's both. What's the word? Both. What's the most important word in your life right now? It is both. From here on in, yes, I can have money. I can have success. I can be a good person. I can enjoy my life. I can be balanced. Yes, 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 and yes. Okay? You need to learn how to do these things. They're not difficult. They're quite simple, but you need to learn them, I would say, from someone who's been there and done that. Okay? And I want to say this right now. Vishen mentioned working hard. Let's cover that right now. Okay. Let's talk about everything is one thing, everybody. What is it? It's energy. What's the word? Energy. Okay, repeat that with me. Everything is what? Energy. All right? Now, listen, money is what? Energy. Big money is what? Big energy. Little money is what? Little energy. To be able to have a result of big money, what are you going to have to do? Put out big money, big energy or little energy? Well, if you want to blend, if you want to attract, if you want to resonate with big money, you're going to have to put out big energy. Oh my God, that's a lot of work, right? It would be, except for what I'm going to teach you. Because what I'm going to teach you is quite profound. And you know what? I don't know where else you could learn it except, well, I just wish I wish I would have learned it without having to struggle for it. But I'm going to understand this. In the program, you're going to understand this, is that you're not only going to be able to, you're going to be able to succeed and enjoy the journey along the way. And I'm going to teach you how to set your work and business up. Listen closely now. So that you are putting out big energy. But listen closely. It's not necessarily your energy. Oh my God. That's right. Big energy, big value needs to be put out there. But it doesn't have to all come from you. Do you understand that? You are the one holding the levers. And these little levers, remember leverage, this little lever moves the world. And that's going to be for you. If you understand that, I can tell you your world will open up for you. And you've probably never heard it the way I'm going to explain it. And one more thing, I'm going to teach you how to set your business and your career and your situation up in such a way where, yes, you might put out a lot of effort, but you're going to do it for a very short amount of time. Instead of what most people do is they work hard for, 40 years. And then they barely have enough to live on. If you're working hard for 40 years, I can tell you right now, you're going to be semi-broke. And if you do become financially free, it'll be on a minuscule amount, okay? Working hard, as Vishnu said, is not the answer to everything. It's working smart. I'm going to show you how to set your business and your career and your financial situation up so that it works for you instead of you always working for it. I hope you get that. Now, let me give you another big problem most people have. Are you ready? And I guarantee if you're like 95% of my students, you've got this problem too. Here it is. Money and money management. People say, I hate budgeting. I hate trying to manage my money. It feels like I'm being, especially spiritual people, right? It feels like I'm being strangled. It feels like I'm not free. I hate doing it. Or they say, well, how do I manage my money? But how do I live the lifestyle of freedom that I want, right? Or they say, I built up a ton of debt. What do I do with all that? Let me say this right now. And most people, they just don't understand this. Listen closely. Managing your money, everyone, it's a spiritual activity. It is a spiritual activity. Why? Have you ever heard the term stewardship? Stewardship? We're talking about stewardship of resources, stewardship of the earth. All of us who are semi-conscious talk about that these days. We need to be a good steward of the earth. And it's the same with any resource. Money is a resource, and you need to become a very good steward of your money. And in this program, you are going to learn the easiest and most effective way to handle your money. And you know what? It doesn't matter if you earn a lot or a little, and for some of you, maybe nothing right now. But I can tell you is this system of managing money worked for me, and it's worked for literally hundreds of thousands of my students. And I can tell you this for sure. It's fun, it's exciting. You're finally going to feel in control of your money, and you will see it escalating, and it won't all go to waste, and you're going to live the lifestyle that you want. I want to share something right now with you. Again, I want to give you as much value as you possibly can and ingrain something, if I may. Listen closely. The importance of money management. A good money manager who earns a lower income can definitely become financially free, while a poor money manager who earns tons and tons and tons of money will never be free. It's not about only how much money you earn. It's how you handle the money that you earn. And I'm going to show you a brilliant way to achieve that and do that. And you know what? If you have kids, you're going to show your kids. It's the first thing you're going to do. You go, oh my God, this is what we need to do as a family. Okay. All right. Money management is a key to freedom. And freedom, as I'll mention in a moment, is a key with spirituality. Okay. Let's talk about another problem people have. Well, Harv, and we call this money, purpose, and passion. Harv, here's some questions. Should my business, I want to read one of them here. Should my business and financial life be kept separate from my service work and doing what I love? Here's another one. What if my passion is in one arena, but my job and my business is in another field? What do I do? Can I blend them? Here's another one. How can I get rich doing what I love, or am I just dreaming? All right, let me say this right now. Living on purpose, my friends, listen closely. Living on purpose is the most spiritual thing you can possibly do. I believe this. You don't have to believe it, but I believe it. You came here with a mission. You came here with a mission, and it is in your heart, and it is in your soul, and it is in your spirit. And your job is to live that mission, live that purpose. The problem is most people can't live on purpose. Why? Because they're broke. They're broke. They're struggling. They're just trying to survive. How on earth can you live your purpose with a full and clean heart and simply give and serve others when you are struggling yourself? You're in survival yourself. You're not doing as well as you'd like to be doing yourself. It's hard. That's why I do this work, my friends. Not only will I show you how to live your purpose and how to find it, but I will teach you exactly how to create a fortune while you are living your on purpose, while you are serving. It's, again, the holy grail. It is. Could you imagine the beauty and perfection of your life if you are able to live on purpose, serve the world, serve people, and get rich? Oh my God, how beautiful is that? And then what do you do with your wealth? Well, you use some of it for your own lifestyle and your family, and you contribute to others. Good or good. All right. Now, let me talk to you here about this huge area. Your mind, and here's the problem for most people. Here it is. Fear. Fear. Fear is the biggest blocker you have from living in your heart, living from your soul, living in your spirit. You're the twig. You're going all the way down to full potential, to the highest self. The only real thing that stops you in some way, shape, or form, which all these blocks are, is fear. Fear. People have fears like, oh, I don't know if I can do it. I've tried before. I've never been able to do it. I've done 28 programs before. It's never helped. I'm too old to do well. I'm too young to get rich. I'm not smart enough. I don't know enough about finance, about money to get rich. It's going to be too much work. My friends are going to leave me. They're not going to want to be with me. Everyone's going to want something. I mean, fear, 100 more fears. Fear. Worry. And you know what? I guarantee this. If you're not doing as well as you'd like to be doing financially, I guarantee part of it is because of fear, and the other part of it is because you don't really quite have the knowledge yet of what to do and how to do it. You've got to have the right mindset and habits and the right but you have to have the right knowledge. You have to have the right knowledge, and you have to have the right vehicle. Those are the triumvirate, okay? The three, listen closely, the right you, the right knowledge, and the right vehicle. You put them together like I'm going to show you to do, and you will be successful, and you will be happy. Now, let me say this right now. Fear is normal. If you don't have fear, you're probably not breathing right now. I have fears. Everyone has fear. Every time you try to reach a new level, there's going to be a part of you, your fear-based mind, your conditioned mind, the survival mechanism, the protection mechanism that's called your mind is going to say, look out, be careful. Trouble could be here. Trouble could be there. And it's like the sentry on the ship, like an overworried mother. Oh my God, look out. The problem is that we listen to it. Now, again, it's like an overworried mother. Do you listen? Don't go out. Stay at home. Stay in your room. Don't move. You got to go, hey, Mom, I love you. I respect you. Thank you for loving me and putting attention on me. But I'm not living that way. I'm sorry, Mom. I got to go out and live. And that's the way you've got to handle your mind. I'm going to show you in this program exactly, step by step, a brilliant methodology for how to handle your mind, the chatter, the voice. And I'm going to start by saying this right now. Don't believe a thought you think. It's sacrilegious. Thank you. Don't believe a thought you think. It's not real. It's especially when it's fear-based. And I will explain in the program, okay? Now, here's another area. How about this? Money and relationships. Relationships are completely spiritual. Why? Because they are our greatest teachers, aren't they? Our greatest teachers. And who do they teach us about? They teach us about ourselves. They teach us about the world. And what is the number one cause of all relationship breakup? I think you guessed it. It's money. Money. And this program, we're going to cover problems like things like, here's what people ask. My wife won't work even though we need the money. Or my husband, he doesn't want me to work even though I want to. Or I want to be a successful woman, but if I do, I'll never find a man because men are threatened by women's success. Or, and by the way, can any of you women relate to that? By the way, my partner spends all of our money, so how can I ever be free? Or my partner wants to hoard all of our money, how can I ever enjoy myself? And those are two opposite spectrums. Or what do I do about my kids? Do I give them an allowance? Do I make them work for it? What? Or how about this? Especially for people in the Asian countries, I'll say this is a huge one. If I get rich, my family's going to expect even more of me. I'm going to have to take even more care of them. And I know that it's tough, but I'm going to show you how to handle that. Again, money and relationships are a huge, huge problem. But let me just say right now, this problem can be handled, but it cannot be handled on a superficial level. It's got to be handled on a deep level. Both you and the people you are living with, you all have something called a money blueprint, a subconscious money thermostat. And when you are arguing right now or disagreeing right now about money, it is not you and your partner. You are not disagreeing. It is your two subconscious blueprints that are arguing and having a fight. I'm going to explain this to you and I'm going to show you how to deal with this at a level where you will change your life and your partner's life and your family life and your relationship life with the people you live with coworkers and associates, with business people, your family, your children, your spouse, forever. And this is one of my greatest honors to be able to do this for people because everything changes. All right, last one, last area. How about this for a problem? How about this for an obstacle? Not enough money, not enough income, and not being able to be free, right? So money, income, and freedom is what we're going to deal with. Let me say this right now, everybody. There is nothing noble about being broke. I don't care. If you think you're more spiritual because you're broke, you're not. You're not. You're just broke, okay? And I don't think there's anything noble about slaving away your entire life for money. I don't think that's noble either. You know, you talk about money and spirituality. Our spirit was born free. And it is essential for us to become free to get back to our spirit. We need that. Essential to have body, mind, and spirit freedom. And yes, financial freedom as well. So we're not stuck, so we're not a slave, okay? And financial freedom, I love that because it gives you time to be who you are instead of who you think you have to be. Let me say that again. What financial freedom does, it gives you an opportunity to be who you really are instead of all the obligations of who you have to be. All the have to. I personally hate that word. Those two words. Have to, got to, need to. Those are words of fear, constrictment, and diminishment, reduction. They're not words of expansion. I love words of expansion, freedom, and I want you to live words of expansion, but you must know how to get to the root, dissolve the blocks and obstacles, and learn the knowledge, get the techniques and strategies in order to create success from there.
Thank you, Harv. That was really, really, really beautiful. I love how you outlined all of the huge multitude of different dysfunctional money beliefs that someone could have into those 8 categories. Let me recap for everyone here who was listening. And so as you hear this recap, think about the scores that you put down at the start of this masterclass and try to think if anything may have shifted a bit because of new insights that you gained from Harv's ideas. The first big area in which we have restrictions around us in terms of money is money and spirituality. We spoke about that quite a bit. Then there's self-worth and deservedness. And then there is balance and enjoying the journey. Category 4 is money and money management. Category 5 is money, purpose, and passion. Category 6 is money, mind, and fear. Category 7, money and relationships. Category 8, money, income, and freedom. So those are the 8 categories that Harv looks at working with people on. And these are the 8 categories in which you may have blocks in terms of your financial abundance. Harv, thank you for sharing those 8 areas. What's next?
Well, what's next is I would like to do a special exercise with everybody. It's a special visualization that I think is going to have a massive effect on people who are, let's say, privileged enough to hear this right now.
Beautiful. And I've done this exercise with you before, and I highly recommend it. So let's get started.
Okay, everyone. So what I'd like you to do right now is I'd like you to please close your eyes and keep them closed for the entire time. I'm going to ask you to take a nice deep breath right now. Inhale and exhale. Again, inhale and exhale. And just one last one, a little bit longer. Inhale and a long exhale. And just relax. And I want you to think right now of the life that you have when it comes to money. And realize that there are only 2 basic financial paths in life: plenty of money and not enough money. And I want you to imagine right now that you are at a fork in the road. And there are 2 paths in front of you. Just visualize that fork in the 2 paths right now. And for right now, I'm going to ask you to take the path on the right. And I want you to walk down this path for just a few yards or meters. Go ahead, do that now. Walk down the path. And notice that the path has a bit of a darkness to it, a bit of a grayness to it, a bit of a heavy energy. And now, while you're on this path, I want you to think of a time where you had the experience of not enough money. And make it as specific as possible. What was that time? Where were you? Where you just felt, I don't have enough money. Maybe you're trying to buy something. Maybe you're trying to give something. Maybe someone was asking you for money. Whatever it was, a time where you felt you did not have enough money. And let me ask you this. How did that make you feel? How did that make you feel about your life? How did that make you feel about yourself? Think about it and feel it. And I want you to recognize, how does it feel? How does it feel when you don't have enough money? How does it feel to not be able to help people that you love or give to them, or give them the lifestyle that you want, or give yourself the lifestyle that you want? And feel that right now. How would that feel? It's okay. If it doesn't feel good, that's okay. Feel that, because that's how it really feels for you in real life. How does it feel not to have the things you want? How does it feel not to be able to do what you love to do in your life? How does it feel to be forced to work and work and work just to get by and always be on the verge and always feel insecure? And I want you to make this not enough feeling even stronger and stronger again. Not enough, not enough, not enough. And keeping your eyes closed, I'd like you right now to, with your hand, point to where you feel this feeling of not enough in your body. Feel the feeling of not enough and touch that feeling now. Touch the part of your body right now where you feel that not enough sensation. Go ahead and do that and get in touch with it. Okay. So I ask you, do you want this feeling to be with you for the rest of your life? Do you? Keep your eyes closed. If the answer is no, then just while your eyes are closed, just shake your head. No, no, no. I don't want this feeling. I'm going to ask you this question now, and listen closely. Are you willing to let this feeling go right now? If you are, nod your head yes. Are you ready to let this feeling go right now? If you are, nod your head yes. Some people may not be ready, and you don't have to if you don't want to be. Some people get something out of being broke and feeling terrible. That's their lot. They want to feel broke. They want to feel terrible. They are the victims, and they choose to maintain that stance. So let me ask you this question. Are you ready to try a different path? If so, I want you to nod yes. Yes. Okay, that's good. Then here's what I want you to do. In your visualization, I want you to turn around right now. I want you to turn your back on the path that you've been on, and I want you to walk back to a few yards or a few meters to the original fork in the road and do that right now. Go ahead. I'm waiting for you to go back to the original fork in the road. Okay? And now turn back to face that fork and those choices again. They're right in front of you again. The two paths. This time, I'm going to ask you to choose the path on the left. And imagine yourself walking down this path a few yards or a few meters. Go ahead and do that now, please. And as you're walking, I already want you to feel the difference in this path's energy. It is different. Instead of a dark energy, it's a very light energy. It's a bright energy. It's a loving energy. It's a very powerful energy. And now I want you to think of yourself having plenty of money. In fact, you are rich. Whatever you define rich to be, but regardless of your personal definition, it's a lot of money. How does that make you feel? How does it make you feel about your life? About your life that you've been successful enough at whatever you've done, that your reward is wealth. That people have paid you so much money for what you've done for them and what you do for them now, that you've been able to amass wealth because of it. How does that make you feel about yourself and about your life? Again, the universe is abundant. And so when we experience plenty, we are in full alignment with the universal flow. And we experience that by feeling good. Do you understand what I'm saying? If so, nod your head. That you are now in alignment with the abundance of the universe. And now imagine how it feels to be rich and be able to help all the people that you love and give to all the charities and organizations that you would love to support, including helping the planet and others all around the world, especially when they need it. How does that make you feel about yourself now? To be able to gift to these people, even anonymously. Wow. Could you imagine giving 100,000 to an organization that you care about anonymously? Oh my gosh. You don't even need the praise. You just want to help. And how does it feel to be able to give to your family the life that you really want for them? How does it feel to be able to have the things that you want in your life? To be able to do whatever you love to do and be free and work only when and because you want to, because you enjoy it, and to live your life on purpose? How does it feel to never have to worry about money again? Now take a nice deep breath and let it in. Freedom. Freedom. And now make this feeling of being rich and free even stronger. And again, keeping your eyes closed, I want you to touch in your body where this good feeling of plenty and abundance lives. Touch it right now and feel this feeling even stronger. And so now I ask you, do you want this feeling to stay with you for your full lifetime? If you do, nod your head yes. Very good. So now you've experienced both financial paths. You know that we create our own reality and our own lives. And so the question is this for you, is this personally? It's a question for you. Which path do you now choose? You now have the option. It is your option. This is your opportunity. The choice is yours. If you choose the path of scarcity or lack or not enough, that's fine. But the question I have for you is, What do you gain by this? Who do you help by this? Is it really easier, or is it actually harder to live this way? Or, if you choose the path of plenty and riches, what do you gain? Who can you now help? Who do you want to help? How do you feel about yourself and your life? Now, finally, it is at this point in time that I want you to imagine that you are hearing a voice right now, a powerful voice, an inner voice, a voice of wisdom, directing you at this fork in the road as to which path to choose. It is the voice of the universe. It is the voice of spirit giving you a direction right now. And this voice is telling you that no good can come by choosing the path of lack and not enough. And that this is important and imperative that right now you align with spirit and that you leave the life of lack and you walk in and through the path of abundance, of plenty, of riches, and that this is your time and that there are no accidents in the universe and that you are on this class for a reason. And that reason is because you are now called to the path of abundance, called to the path of plenty, called to the path of riches, so that you can truly help yourself, your family, and other people in the world. Now, how does this feel? Are you excited? Are you happy? Do you feel good about the future? You should. You should, because now you are finally in full alignment with what the universe has wanted for you all along, except you had created obstacles. And now we are about to remove those obstacles. And you will be like the little branch flowing on the stream, right through to the river, right through to the ocean, unimpeded to your destiny as we remove the obstacles and all obstacles in your way. Gone finally. Take a nice deep breath. And I want you to smile. And I want you to know that your new life starts right now. And everyone, please open your eyes and take a nice deep breath, a fresh breath, and begin your life again. Okay, well, again, as I said earlier, it's my honor to be able to do this for people because I know that in the live programs, this totally changes people. It changes their life. And, literally, if you can just keep those feelings with you, those two paths, and keep choosing, you will choose the new path for yourself because you know what the other one is like and it's not what you want.
Harv, thank you so much. That was a wonderful masterclass. I hope you guys listening got a ton out of this. I know I've been scribbling notes furiously as well. So what I'd like to do right now is go back to the questions that you answered earlier, okay? And what I'm going to ask you to do is to give yourself a rating based on how you feel now after listening to Harv and understanding more about our money blueprints. Let's start with the first question. So right next to your earlier rating, I want you to give a rating based on how you feel right now. First question is, I'm happy with my current financial status. Second question, I have an effective system for managing my money. Third, I deserve the abundant life I desire. Now keep in mind that some of this, the rating isn't going to change because we've just been able to cover a tiny slice of what it would take to really get you from 1s or 2s to 3s or 4s or 5s to 9s or 10s. Fourth, the net worth of the 5 people closest to me match my goals in financial abundance. Obviously, this is going to stay the same. Money worries cause most of my stress. Do you feel a little bit more certain about money right now? Rich people work way too hard. Has this shifted? Do you feel a little bit more understanding for the rich? Did Harv's ideas of bless the rich make sense to you? I have a hard time keeping money after I make it. Do you feel you're still going to have this belief going forward? I can make money doing what I love. Harv spoke a lot about passion. Has this gone up? I have what it takes to be successful. Money leads to relationship troubles. Remember, Harv spoke about Asian families, about in category number 7. Did any of that resonate with you? I can easily imagine myself making $1 million a year. Can you see that now, knowing the stories and what people have experienced working with Harv? People cannot be rich and still maintain their ethics and values. This should have gone up quite a bit because we spoke about this predominantly in this conversation. And finally, I believe I can make a lot of money and still lead a balanced life. Okay, so hopefully you saw rises. It doesn't mean you're going to go from 3 to 10, but you may have gone from 3 to 4, 3 to 5 in some of those categories. And now what we'd like to do, for those of you who are listening, is to tell you about the new program that Harv has brought onto the Mindvalley Academy. So now you've gotten a glimpse of what happens with just a little bit of an exposure to Harv. Now, when I grew my business tremendously, I was with Harv for about 16 hours. It was a two-day event, maybe about 16 hours in its entirety. And that's when I saw that huge 400% increase in my business, and almost 10 out of 11 people I was with also saw their lives elevate. Now, if you'd like a similar experience, mentally raise your hand. Because what we've done is we've worked with Harv over the last couple of years and put together one of the most beautiful online training programs by Harv Eker that takes you into all of these 8 categories and helps you dramatically change your money blueprint. It's designed by Harv, using Harv's work, designed by my education team here at Mindvalley and our technology team. It's an 8-week program, so we're all busy. And what you want to do is carve out about 2 hours a week, maybe on a weekend. And what you're going to do is listen to that lecture by Harv. You can choose to, if you are a fast listener like me, you can double speed it, so you can listen to it at 2x the speed or 1.5x the speed, so you can get done in about 60 minutes. And find a time you can listen to this. I listen to it often when I'm commuting. Now, following that, it's not just about the lecture. See, we can grow through insight, but we can also grow through the slow, gradual shifts that happen internally. And Harv is teaching through both ways. So after that session, every week, Harv is going to assign a 20-minute guided meditation that you're going to experience. And this 20-minute guided meditation changes your belief systems automatically through a process of autosuggestion. Harv, I'm going to ask you to talk about that a little bit more. So that's week 1. Now week 2, week 3, week 4, all the way to week 8. And at this point, you can probably guess every week is in one of those 8 categories. So in week 1, we go through all of your beliefs, all of that past programming that you may have taken on regarding money and spirituality, and we demolish all the unhealthy beliefs. Week 2, we go to self-worth and deservedness. And I can tell you folks, this is such an incredibly amazing program. Everyone should be listening to it. So if you're happy where your income is, continue doing what you're doing. All is good. But if you want to get further, if you want to go beyond where you are right now, stop bumping against that glass ceiling in the traditional way. And let's go deep. Let's look at your beliefs. Let's remove the ones which are holding you back. And I know that this program just freaking works. So Harv, I invested with my wife. Over the last 7 years, we spent about $16,000 on Harv Eker seminars. $16,000. We attended 4 seminars. So if you do the math, that's about $4,000 per seminar. Now this program is accessible to you. Remember, I paid $4,000 for this type of information. This is accessible to you for something that is such a ridiculously low price. It's just 5% of that. So it's basically like 95% off. And the reason we're able to do it is because of our Mindvalley technology that allows us to deliver it to tens of thousands of people digitally through a smartphone or through online. Harv, what would you like to say about this?
Well, as far as the program is concerned, one of the things I think is really important is that the format is a little bit different. So, we talk about lecture a little bit, but here's the thing. What I've found, everyone, is that, if I'm just speaking off the cuff, then I'm usually speaking about what I think is important. But what we decided to do was really, really do this in a way where we were getting to people's real questions and people's real problems and solving them for them. When I have my highest level group is called a private circle. And it's a 5-day live event in my home. And the reason I'm mentioning it is because the way we do this program, where people are asking questions and I'm answering those questions in a way that everyone will be able to use, but that's what triggers it, is exactly how we do the private circle. In fact, because this was so effective, then the private circle, where there's only 20 people in my home, and they're asking specific questions to their own lives, which share with everybody. And you're able to answer someone so deeply and give them exactly what they need that people are just scribbling those, because it's not a question of, does this pertain to me? The question is always, how does this pertain to me? It's like having a $20,000 private circle, but as you mentioned, it's a little bit less than that.
Absolutely. So I really want to encourage you guys to try out this program. One of the beautiful things about how we design our programs in Mindvalley is we want to give you guys the option to really take no risk. You do not even have to make up your mind right now. You can try this program for a full 30 days. 30 days, that's 4 weeks. You get to go through 4 weeks of the program. And if you don't feel this is right for you, if you don't feel this is something that so profoundly changes your life, get a full refund. Mindvalley currently has been ranked one of the top 10 customer support service providers in the world because of how much we care for our students and how we make every program you enroll into completely risk-free. One email, you get a refund every single dime you spend. So there's zero risk. But think about the risk if you do not do this. So right below, you'll see that two things are happening. And as you guys know, every time we relaunch a program, we open up the best ever price. So you're getting this program for the best ever price in history and the best ever price it will ever be released at, because this is officially being relaunched now on our new platform. But we're going to add an extra bonus. As a special reward for watching this masterclass and completing it with us, you get a further discount, which you can see below. Harv, anything to add?
I do. I want to make sure people understand something very, very important, and that is, everyone listen. Again, I have a suspicion of the type of people that you are, who you are listening right now. And I believe that, there's no accidents in the universe. And if you're listening right now, you're meant to be listening to this and you're meant to be learning this and understanding it. Why? We're talking about the blending, the combining of spirituality and money, spirituality and wealth. And let me just say this right now. You have to understand this. The greatest power in the universe is the universe. We know that when we are tapped into nature, tapped into the universe, then our lives are beautiful, and that our lives have to be abundant because the universe is abundant. And let me say this so you understand it, not to negate anybody, but a lot of people will say, oh yeah, I'm a spiritual person. But let me say this, if the universe is so abundant, billions of trees, billions of flowers, billions of stars, billions of galaxies, billions of everything, if it's so abundant and you're not, then how tapped in can you really be? Do you follow what I'm saying? It is good for you to be abundant as well. And if you are not utilizing the laws of spirit, the laws of the universe to create success in your life, you are taking the slow train to nowhere, in my opinion. And so what does that mean? It means simply this, is that there's a fast way and a flowing way to expand and grow, and there's a suffering and slogging way. One is your higher self, one is your lower ego self. And by being able to utilize the laws that we're going to teach you and share with you in this program, you will be on the fastest and highest conscious way to success in your life. The universe is abundant. It is up to you to do what you need to do in order for you to be abundant too. Let me say this right now. It's like, what a lot of people do? It's the difference between trying to walk on foot across the country or getting on a jet plane and flying across the country. There's two ways to go. And you're going to be choosing which way to go right now. Will you take that step? And I just want to say one more thing. Our life is a series of choices. I was just talking to someone today about that, a woman who was actually, she's my dental assistant, and she was mentioning about her kids today, et cetera, et cetera. And I was explaining to her that one of the things I felt was very important in the upbringing of my kids was giving them the understanding of that their choice is going to make a difference, that different choices will create different results. And everyone, you have an important choice to make right now. Right now might be one of the most important choices you make in your entire life. You can do nothing. Okay. But I will say this, with doing nothing comes nothing. You have to understand that's a choice. It's a fine choice, but that means that and I will say this, if your life is basically perfect right now, if you are really, really, really financially rich, you are extremely spiritual, you are super happy, super fulfilled, have super meaning in life, everything's going wonderful, then you know what? Don't make a change. Don't make a change. You're doing fantastic. Why would you want to change? However, if you could use a little improvement or a lot of improvement in your finances, in your happiness, in your connection with spirit and blending that, in your fulfillment, in your meaning and your purpose in life, even if there's just a little bit of improvement you think you can have there in who you are and how you think about yourself and how you think about life and your relationships and everywhere, then I'm going to say this very, very simply. And that is that if you keep doing what you've always been doing, you're going to keep getting more of what you've already got. If you want a different life, you have to make a different choice. You've got to know more, because in knowing more, you can do more. I'm going to give you very simply, and this is a gift, the formula for success. This is it. This is all you have to do, my friends, in any arena. Two words: learn, do. That's it. Learn, and then do what you learned. And then learn some more and do what you learned. And then learn some more and do it. And keep on doing that, learning, do it. If you learn and you don't do, what's the use of learning? If you do without learning, what are you doing? That's why I would highly, highly encourage you and invite you to participate in this program. It's the best of what I've got. This has helped tens of thousands of people radically change their life. And it's not just a thinking way. Strategies, techniques, methodologies, knowledge, and skills around business and finance and money and wealth, along with mind and spirit, and putting them beautifully together. And all I can say is this: I had one student myself who sent me an email. It was very, very interesting, because he had said that the program that you're about to get here had literally earned him over $500,000 in less than 2 years. And he was laughing, and he was saying, it was the best trade I've ever made. He said, I literally traded, and at that time the program was $1,000. He said, I literally traded $1,000 bill for $500,000. He says, what a deal I made. And I guess that's all I'm saying to you, is that you have a choice to make right now. You can do nothing and have exactly the life that you've always had. And maybe that's great. And maybe you're happy, and that's good. I just hope you're rich as well. Or if you want to have a different life, you've got to do something different. And I know you might have tried many other programs before, and I hope you have. I did dozens of programs, read hundreds of books, and every single one of them helped me, some a little more than others. But all I can tell you is this. People ask me, why should I learn from you? And I think I gave you the answer from the very beginning, is that I was going to become a monk. I'm still extremely spiritual. I meditate every morning and most evenings, okay? So that's my life. I would call myself I go to chanting retreats, and I go to Bhakti Fest. And this is what I do. I'm going to an ashram literally for my birthday coming up. That's what I do. I'm a spiritual person. And then people say, well, are you a millionaire? Well, yeah, right now, because of the economy and the way things have gone, I will be honest with you. I'm not a millionaire anymore. Because of these principles that I'm teaching you, I'm not a millionaire. I am a multi, and I could go on for a few minutes, millionaire. And how blessed is that? To be able to serve and live your purpose and be connected to spirit and have the wealth in order to, why get rich? Well, No kidding, for your lifestyle for sure. But also to be able to contribute to people and contribute when there's disasters. You know what? It's nice to send your prayers and it's good to give time. But right now they need money for food, for shelter, for clothing, for medicine. I wish it was all free. It's not free. And why should someone else be responsible for that? One of the good things about this is why I love to teach this vision. You asked me from the very beginning, why do you want to teach this? Because I believe money is good. Wealth is even better. If you have wealth, you can help the people who never have that wherewithal and never will have the opportunity that you do. And I promise you, my friends, if you are willing to let me guide you up the mountain, I pride myself on being a good Sherpa, a person who will help you get to where you want to go. If you were going to climb Mount Everest, you would be foolhardy to do that on your own. But you'd also be foolhardy to do it with someone who's never been to the top. And all I can tell you is that if you're a good, kind-hearted person and you're spiritual and you want balance in your life and you want all of that and you want to blend that with money and success and happiness, I can take you to the top because I am so grateful to be there myself. And so thank you so much for listening. Bless you, and I love you.
Thank you so much, Harv. And yes, you helped me, you helped my wife, you helped at least 10 of my friends get to that top. So we trust you on that one. For those of you listening, thank you so much for joining us. Let's do a quick recap. You have your scores in all of those areas where you rated yourself. Look at the areas where you feel you were the weakest and ask yourself, what would my life look like if I could get to 9s and 10s in these? And we'll be covering all of these areas in this program. But not only that, you get to try it out. We're so confident in this program that you can sign up, go to the program for 30 days, see what it's like. If not, get a full refund. We really want to get this into the hands of 1 million people, to as many people as possible. So there's absolutely nothing to lose unless you decide not to enroll in the program. Then, unless you're stuck, you're really happy where you are, that just isn't the smartest thing to do. So you can enroll in this program and there's absolutely nothing to lose. Now, do keep in mind that you will have to make a time investment. The time investment isn't much. You're spending 20 minutes a day listening to Harv's meditations. You can take that out from your regular 20-minute meditation. What I tell people, they're like, God, I'm so busy already. I'm like, look, take that 20 minutes out of your regular working day. If you're so busy, stop doing what you're doing because you're doing it wrong. Your stuff is broken if you're too busy to spend 20 minutes meditating. So spend that 20 minutes meditating. And this particular style of meditation, which Harv is going to be guiding you through, is designed to remove all of those blocks that are keeping you busy in the first place. The good news is you can do that in no extra time, NET time, no extra time. What this means is just play it in your car as you're driving. All of us spend at least 2 hours in commute every week. The program is accessible through our Mindvalley app, so you can listen to it in your commute. So this is potentially one of the smartest decisions you can do to get through your glass ceiling, get to the next level. As I said, of the people I took with me to that Harv Eker seminar, 4 ended up getting a massive promotion at work. 4 ended up leaving their jobs and starting their own company. All of these changes happened in a relatively short amount of time. And they all credit it to Harv Eker. They are all formidable, big Harv Eker fans. All the information is below. I cannot wait for you to get started, and I'll see you on the next page. Go ahead and click enroll.